I thought today was kind of sloppy, which is usual. All the energy around day one of getting out here, and then having to be a little sore and come back for day two. I thought the defense kind of dominated the day for the most part. Always hard to evaluate the offensive line in your run game when there's no pads on. So we'll have pads on next time.
You have pads on Saturday?
Yes.
What do you think of DJ? Just some of the things he did today.
Yeah, I think he seems to be a little more comfortable, which is normal, as after an off season. But he seems to be a little more healthy. He's making cuts a little bit better. Even though he had been, I guess almost 2 years removed last season from his knee, it still seemed to have effects on him. So it looks like he looks better. And our track people had said that too over the last month while he's been out there with them, that he looks a lot better than the year before.
What did you think of that catch Marquise made, the leaping grab, and how he's performed here so far?
Yeah, the good thing is I don't know which one you're referring to. He makes photos a day. He's the MVP of today. He's just unique. He's unique. Obviously he's a unique player. He's a great player. Potential to be the best receiver ever played. You've heard me say that before. But what makes him more special is his mindset. He could have pulled himself out after all the stuff he did today. He could have pulled himself out of last conditioning, but not only stayed in there, won it. And it's just who he is. He was having cramps, thought about coming out and stayed in there and won the last race. So he's just real special, and you saw that in Robert's freshman year out of him. Stanford game, the long touchdown, he comes back and goes on the kickoff coverage, and Marquise is the same way.
How glad are you not one and done in football?
Yeah, really. We'd have a problem with that, obviously, with how well we've had our freshmen play over the last 2 years, and especially this last year, Marquise.
You've talked about tight end being a really deep position, yet you only have one healthy guy. Is that a concern at all?
Yeah, unfortunately, that happens a lot of times in the spring, because you have guys rehabbing, guys that get hurt, and in the fall you tend to be better because you're further removed from the surgeries into the season. So some of our spots are lower. Just like last spring, we were really low, if you remember, especially in the offensive line. So at least we can do. We're short skilled guys, but at least we can do team stuff. Last year we were having to do a lot more 7-on-7. So it will be exciting to get those guys back, because as you look at them, not only are they really good players in tight end, but you have 3 sophomores and a freshman and another freshman coming, which is obviously very unique for guys to be that young.
Does Curtis's increased bulk give you more confidence that he can be the every game 20 carry back that maybe he wasn't able to do consistently last year?
Yeah, I just think Curtis, with no distractions around him, really, not now having been eligible for a year, having 1,000 yards, having confidence in himself, being the starter right now, compared to where he was a year ago. So many questions around him. Was he even going to get eligible for that last season? And so I just think he's a lot more comfortable. And you can see it in the parts of his game that have been his weakness, in the passing game and catching the ball and route running. He's really getting better to be an all-around back.
How has Antoine Woods progressed since he got here?
Yeah, a lot. A lot has been made about Andre Walker's and losing 60 pounds in 14 months. But Antoine's lost a lot of weight too. I don't know the exact number offhand, but he's come a long ways. And hopefully, he'll be a guy that, Mike Patterson was like that when he first got here and lost a lot of weight. And hopefully Antoine will continue to develop.
Is part of your plan with the quarterbacks to give the other guys reps with the ones throughout spring?
Yeah, we really flopped it. Yesterday or Tuesday would have been more like what you normally do, and Matt was with the ones most of the time. And we moved today, and we'll move the rest of this camp really to limit Matt's team stuff, just with people around him. He'll take a lot more 7-on-7 or 1-on-1s, and let these other guys play in the team situations a lot more, like we did today.
And why do you do that? You want them to get acclimated to doing that? You want to see how they perform?
Yeah, 2 reasons. Number one is injuries. The injuries ever to your quarterback happen in the team stuff because people around him and someone falling around him or hitting his thumb. So, it was a reminder Tuesday about how close stuff can be. So we're going to limit him in that stuff. And even though we tell people to stay away from him, it doesn't. You can't control that completely. But then number 2, it helps those guys. They're getting a lot of reps in team situations and pockets and stuff moving around them.